Iran has announced Mojtaba Khamenei as its new supreme leader, just over a week after the assassination of his father, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, in joint United States-Israeli strikes that have plunged the entire region into a sprawling war. The 56-year-old, who will now be charged with leading the Islamic Republic through the biggest crisis in its 47-year history, was named by clerics as his father's successor on Sunday. Key leaders, Iran's powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and the armed forces were quick to pledge their backing to the new leader. Meanwhile, the Israeli Defense Force IDF have vowed to continue to pursue every successor to Iran's next supreme leader, the military wrote on X and Farsi on Sunday. We want to tell you that the hand of the State of Israel will continue to pursue every successor and every person who seeks to appoint a successor, the IDF wrote. Here is a reaction report from Tehran on the new appointment.
Iranians have really decided to defy the Americans and the Israelis. They have elected a new supreme leader under bombardment and under those threats by the Americans and the Israelis. The Iranians overnight, I'm talking here about the groups, I'm talking about the institutions that matter in this country, that have the weapons and the political clout and so on. All of them have expressed their support for this election. The president, the parliament, the Revolutionary Guard, and also the army, all its components, the National Security Council, the National Police, the Ministries of Defense, and of Intelligence. So, I mean, support has been gathered and has been expressed across the country for this appointment or this election of the new supreme leader, and that is also another message for the Americans and to the Americans and the Israelis that Iran is a united country at this particular moment, and that it is going to continue to fight this war as a united country in the face of atrocities and in the face of aggression, as they call it here. Also overnight we have seen people celebrating this in certain cities and locations and so on. It coincided with one of the auspicious nights in the country according to the Shia calendar, one of the nights of destiny. Very symbolic meaning there of that, the coincidence of the night of destiny with the night the country has decided its destiny for the future. And here today there is expectation of more expressions of solidarity and of support of this decision. We're not going to talk about the opposition. You know that Iran is a divided country, usually between conservatives and reformists. But this is not the time. People here are saying this is not the right time for the opposition to express itself in a loud manner or in a violent manner, because the country is under war and it is a time for nationalism. And also the government has made every precaution to make sure that there will be no dissent at this particular moment, because any dissent at this particular moment is going to give the wrong message to the Americans and Israelis, because they were expecting the Iranians to rise against the government and to topple it as soon as some of the top leaders are taken out, and that's what happened on the first day of the war. So this is a strong message of defiance, and the Iranians have decided, particularly the government has decided to go ahead in this war and to make sure that there is no crack in the unity of the country at this moment.
Also, Sina Azadi of George Washington University here speaks on the issue.
We also have to keep in mind that Mojtaba Khamenei and his appointment was a widespread rumor in Iran's political circles. He was somebody, as the late Ayatollah Khamenei was aging. He was 87 when he was killed. He had survived prostate cancer. So there was already discussion of the issue of succession in the country. There were some candidates being considered publicly, based on the public information that we know and we have read. The late Ayatollah Khamenei was in a way opposed to Mojtaba because of exactly the appearances of turning the Islamic Republic into yet another a monarchy or a dynasty that goes back to some 2,000 years. However, because of Mojtaba's very close the IRGC, I think that we should not be surprised that he was elected because we were at the time of war. IRGC is basically in charge of all the operations, military operations of Iran and prosecuting the war. So the selection of Mojtaba, as you pointed out, is not only a poke in the eye of the President Trump, but also is something that we were expecting in a way.